Ladies, gentlemen, people of all genders, welcome! It's Friday, January 3rd, and you're watching the A Link to the Past Randomizer Fall Tournament 2019. Welcome all you fine viewers to this fantastic race between matt7898 and Yagamoth that will soon unfold. I'm Marjevich, and joining me today is Hudson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
It's another fantastic day. The start of this year has been great, and I'm so excited for this match that we have with us today.
Yep, as you said, we have Yagamoth and matt7898. This is the first of their best of 3 setups, so we will be doing a normal open start for this one. And the winner of this series will end up going off against Aussie 101 in our best of 32 round.
Indeed, Aussie ended up beating Emosaur in a straight 2-0 in their best of 3. But Aussie's gonna have a tough challenge because we have 2 of the highest placing finishers in the qualifiers, Yagamoth finishing 11th in those tough as nail qualifier matches earlier, and Matt was number 17.
Yeah, so hopefully we can see some high tier play that really exemplifies that skill, and a seed that will cooperate in letting their players show that off.
It certainly seems like the seeds haven't been the nicest as of yet.
Well,
maybe we can change today.
Well, we'll only know when this race gets started off, which should be in just a moment or two. And as we wait, yes, a shout out to Slowpoke316 who will be taking care of tracking for this run. And our runners are off, both starting off in the sanctuary and getting the holy bee in a bottle, I suppose.
Certainly holy for the rupees in some situations, but more importantly, Sick Kid can already be checked, so that's a very nice thing to have before going into Kakariko. Yagamoth's just going to use that bee just to check some prize packs here. That is a bad prize pack, that small magic is
yeah. That is unfortunate. Yes, we did see the map check. Saw the green pendant up at Hera, Crystal at Eastern, and a 5-6 over in Desert.
Thankfully, this little hoarder is being very nice, just giving me so many bombs.
Yeah, that's honestly the best crab you can find. Oh no, Yagamoth did take advantage. We can see a few bombs in their inventory, and we see, I think, a heart piece on the lumberjack ledge.
Yeah, that looks that way to me as well. I have to put that Aga one on hold for now.
Yeah, our first bit of money is a 20 at the mushroom. Runners hadn't even picked up any from drops or what have you.
They've gotten the bombs, they've gotten the fire rod, which is a very nice weapon to have.
Yeah.
They've got the bottle. We'll need some more rupees though for that little bottle merchant himself in Kakariko.
Yeah, it's all well and good if you can swing in Sick Kid on your first pass, but if you have to abandon Bottle Vendor, then, it's just the same.
Yeah, and there's been some low rupee seeds this tournament where players have had to come back to check that bottle vendor, and it never feels good.
Yeah, still, I don't expect we'll see like any kind of Houlihan or rupee grinding until they've done most of the Light World Overworld checks, and they become more confident that, no, there's just not enough money there. There is a flute there, though, so who needs money?
Yeah, who needs money? we do just mention that flute so you can easily get to the Ice Sword Cave area. You got a few shacks up on Death Mountain that you can pay a visit to, but I think that glove in the back of Escape is a little bit more tempting.
And actually, I think our runners will be able to grind just enough money for Bottle Vendor. So I think they'll be good.
Yeah, you can get the 20 down here in the well. We are getting a lot of items in the early game here. And,
We are, yes.
We got both items now that put Sora in logic, so maybe we will see a delayed Holy Hand after all. Oh, the rupees are not being very kind to them, at least.
Nah, afraid not. But I have a feeling we're going to see a very consistent route between these two runners for a little while. You get the bottle early on from Sanctuary, you're going to come to Kakariko regardless. You get the flute, okay, activate it, go do Kakariko, flute down to Link's hat. Like, the first few steps are probably going to be in very close sync.
Yeah, they do have good amount of locations they can check down at the South Shore Sora area. They don't really have a good enough weapon for escape. I mean, Fire Rod is good, but you don't have any magic, and you won't be able to get enough magic to get through that, so that will probably be put on hold for now.
Yeah, they'll certainly be holding on to enough bombs that I can see them going and hitting the mini Moldorm cave. That's reasonable enough to do with bombs.
To be fair, you can do bomb escape, but not that many players willingly do bomb escape unless it's standard mode and you are forced to do it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only time you do it, and you're not happy to.
Probably do want to use those bombs for something else, like the Moldorms, like you said.
A vanilla book?
Now that's a big thing. Because you have the Fire Rod and the glove already, so the boots guarantee that you can full clear desert.
Just a little bit of cash the race game. Yagamoth is going to go and dive it immediately. And when you're looking at this rupee count, you might end up taking it anyway.
It's pretty low, and Sora is in logic. You can pick up some additional rupees over in Eastern as well, but Crystal Eastern, without bow, not really feeling it. Yagamoth isn't even feeling that 20.
Oh. Matt is feeling back of escape though, so gonna bomb that wall and see what these 3 items get you.
Yagamoth seems to be feeling the same. Well, you got the rupees and you got the other rod.
Well, hey, at least we don't have to do an ice rod hunt this seed.
And everyone's very happy about that. Oh, Uncle stored his own bombs in Link's house. Did Matt forget something here? Oh my.
No? Forgot that he didn't forget Tavern.
That's a new one. I hope that doesn't get to his head and he can actually perform in this race.
Yeah, you don't want to find yourself in a spot where, you're stumbling through the psychological part of this game, which certainly exists.
Well, I guess we're just gonna go and do some standard good old flute routing the South Shore.
And find a moon pearl in the at the dam.
Oh, well,
So-
that's always needed, you know?
Yeah. We're now a glove or a hammer away from hitting up the Dark World. Without a sword and with only 4 hearts, but hey, we can do it.
Yeah, and the lack of swords really seem to point towards this is not going to be Aga 1, but we can't really write that off yet. Not saving up the bee here for the Moldworms. That bee is really good at killing Moldworms.
Getting a mirror off the NPC in there.
And now this is pretty awkward, because you can sequence break up to Tower of Hera, and you have a fire source, but you don't have a weapon for Moldworm.
Yeah, actually with the flute, I think Hera is perfectly in logic right now, except
did I
for
forget that flute?
Moldorm.
Give me 2 seconds, I will reapply the screw to my brain and see if that helps.
Just make sure it's on tightly, but not too tightly.
Okay, I'll make it a little bit looser than before, okay. Ah, there we go, okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. Meanwhile, we do find a blue thing over in the Ice Rod Cave, but it's just 5 rupees.
Yagamoth is going for the escape. Only has 2 bombs, won't get that much magic.
Yeah, might just be visiting Uncle, and we'll leave the actual escape for later. Although certainly you would love to route the 2 of those in together.
Well, to be fair, you only need 2 fire rod shots to get through escape, and there is enough magic here for 2 shots.
Not enough magic to use that ether, though. And there's a bow in the other glove in the waterfall? Okay.
Well, that's pretty big, to say the least.
Yeah. That's Dark World access. That bow is going to be required. That glove is going to be required.
Yeah.
This visit to Zora is more or less necessary, if only to do that.
Oh, absolutely. And with the fire rod and the bow, Armos is in logic over Eastern as well. But you do have that mirror, so maybe you do want to do some pod into Eastern play later with a hammer.
Possibly.
Do you like going into the Dark World without a sword and 5 hearts? And
Yes, as mentioned now... Oh, go ahead.
Yagamoth just going to the dark room first. Not going back of escape, just checking Dark World.
Just making a bold move for it. Just getting the vanilla key, though.
That doesn't really do anything, because that is in logic with the fire rod. Because there is some Zelda cell key logic that can be applied with the small keys there. So it looks like Matt is just gonna go ahead, do Eastern, and then route in Sahasrara after that.
Yeah, that seems like the plan.
It's going to escape anyway.
Yeah, as you were saying, the Armos fight here is in logic with the fire rod. I believe the exception is that if the big key is in its vanilla location, that part is considered lamp locked rather than just fire source locked.
Yes,
that is also a pretty easy dark room, so.
Yeah, we will probably be seeing that, or just disregard it entirely.
Or disregard everything I say, yeah.
It happens. It comes with the territory.
Oh, yeah.
Jaga needs to head on over to those flipper spots. Does have the flute, easy access over to the Ice Rock Cave area, has rupees for Sora and all that. I will say there's been a lot of bumps in this seat so far.
Yeah, I guess of the so-called trash drops, that's one of the better ones to have show up over and over. Certainly more useful than if you got a lot of arrows and no bow.
Yes. Matt did get a pretty nice full magic drop there. Only has 3 arrows with this bow and needs to pick up some later. There's a lot of them in Eastern, so we'll be fine.
Mhm. Yeah, with this basically being the vanilla home of the bow, there's arrows everywhere. They want to make sure you got
Yep.
them.
Now, Escape didn't have anything, unfortunately, for Yagamoth, so that was a pretty big time commitment here early on, and he's probably gonna do some flipper stuff here, starting off by checking the island.
Just a piece of heart on that. Heading up to the man under the bridge that I don't believe Matt visited.
I think Matt may have just gone for the goodies over at the Waterfall Ferry.
Yeah, I think so. It's not punished for that skip. There's just 50 rupees there.
Matt successfully sequence break that compass in Eastern. Not very happy with that one. It looks like Yagamoth is just orphaning Ice Rod Cave for now. And since you do have Flute to get back there easily should you ever get boots later, pretty quick visit.
Yep. And that's another one that, was isolated but will not matter in the end.
So Yagamoth will get the goodies here and get the green potion there filled up as well. Very nice to have. I'm very intrigued to see how Yagamoth is gonna play this. Make the same call that Matt is doing to head on over to Eastern, or maybe just head on straight into the Dark World.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, there's a certain appeal to doing Pod and Eastern back to back. Assuming Pod is a crystal, we haven't seen a Dark World map check at all. But Yagamoth might hold off just for that.
Absolutely, and Matt, perfect execution there on the Armos fight for the first crystal. Yagamoth looks to be going into the Dark World. Or maybe not.
Who knows?
I guess we can just flute to...
Fluting over to Meyer area.
This actually makes a lot of sense. You kind of want to have the hammer before going to the Thieves' Town area, just to be sure, and it's Pen, Thieves' Town, and Turtle Rock. How fun.
How fun. And the other 5-6 at Meyer.
Great. So it's the classic good old meme of early Ice Rod, Pen, and Turtle Rock that we have here today.
Yes, and we saw quickly that Meyer will be Ether for the seed.
Which can be entered, but you don't have boots or hook shots, so you are stuck in the first room.
Yep.
I'm actually a bit surprised to see the flute with the mirror this early for Desert Access, which makes me really wonder about that vanilla book and where the boots are located.
Yeah.
This could be a slow one.
Yeah, it's not exactly like the logic goes, hey, you've got flute and mirrors, so you can get into desert, so we'll put the boots way at the end. But if the logic is arranged that the boots aren't necessary, it can go anywhere, and there's a lot of end game locations. There's a whole GT basement, for example.
Indeed, we do know that Desert isn't boots locked, so those boots could show up very late if they show up in the first place.
We do see a cape over on the right side of Desert.
And that's pretty nice, actually, since you can get the bumper cave item when you do decide to go into the Dark World. You will make a visit to Skull Woods at some point. You have the fire rod, but you don't have a sword to cut the curtain, unfortunately, towards Mothula.
Yeah, although that portal is kinda your only way to the main Dark World overworld. Is the one that's right there. Until we get a hammer, that you're gonna be there just to get to the Dark World in the first place.
Yes. And that's a reason why players aren't really fond of the mid-Dark World access, because you have one portal and you're kind of forced to do the same thing in every single seed, and if the progression is in Palace of Darkness, man, that's a long walk all the way across the world.
It very much is.
And it's in logic because they have flippers. Speaking of logic, we also have Hammerless Ice Palace if you're into that.
And nobody is.
I wish that was accurate.
I'm not saying nobody has to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm saying we are glad that we don't hear our runners' microphones when they have to do it.
Well, Yagamoth is gonna do some NMG strats on this boss. Won't have enough fire rod shots to kill all three Lamolas. Actually going in with no magic at all. Oh yeah, the green potion. I'm done.
Green potion.
I need to fix the screw again. Damn it.
Well, hey, those green potions are going to be surprisingly essential early on. You know, we're relying on our rods. And Matt's gonna have to, well, switch to arrows or refill.
Matt also has that green potion picked up at the ferry too, but it's actually doing NMG, so I guess I was right after all.
Might run out of arrows though. Oh, there we go.
Arrow Lamolas is not a fun fight at all. It has way too much health. We're gonna see Checkerboard Cave here as Matt gets second crystal and Yagamoth number 1.
Hey, there's our hammer.
And that's kind of why you want to do this before you enter the main Dark World. Because now you don't have to go to that one portal, you can go wherever you want. This also gives us access to the east side of Death Mountain too via the Mirror Hammer combination, so the entire world is open for our players now.
Yep.
Which also means that it could take like 15 minutes before they find any progression.
Very possible. We're also just looking at a spot where we might see a lot of divergence now.
Oh yeah, definitely. You could go Death Mountain, there's a lot of stuff up there. You could pick up the Green Pendant if you really want to. You can go Thieves Town, Skull Woods, if you can get that sword. Ice Palace if you're into that.
Yeah, Ice Palace is the bold play, to put it mildly.
Definitely. Yagamoth is gonna go and pick up a potion here. That's a blue potion, so it's not a pod think here. Because then you could just as well buy the green one.
Yeah, might be a general purpose safety, looking at those 5 hearts, no sword, green mail. I would imagine if you're getting a blue potion, a lot of the time that's a T-Rock safety, but I don't expect our runners will be heading in that direction unless they're afraid.
I was afraid their Matt was going into Ice Palace, but it seems to be going back for that hobo we were talking about earlier.
Yep, meanwhile, Yagamoth is going to hit up the Hype Cave.
You get your 5 items and then you can choose where to go. Could just go to pod anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bow, you have hammer, just go clear it. That's probably what Yagamoth is thinking here. You can do Eastern pod back to back, you have the mirror. Which begs the question, why did I talk about the bottle earlier with pod? Man, the screw is really not working today. Now Matt, on the other hand, having done Eastern already, may decide to actually head on westwards instead. Because there isn't as much stuff over here on the east side.
Yeah, may end up taking kind of the reversed route, almost. Starting at the Hype Cave and then working up through the Village of Outcasts towards Skullwoods. A lot of the time you end up doing it the other way around. But with no sword, there's no reason to really start at Skullwoods. You want to visit that and clear it out all in one go.
Yeah, it's interesting that you would actually want to delay Skullwoods until you get a sword. So the more locations you can check along the way, the higher the probability of you having a sword by the time you get there.
Now, of course, Matt could make a liar of me and just head over to pod like Yagamoth is doing.
Yes.
Which appears to be the case. So, I'm
everyone
shaking
just
a
loves
fist.
pod to do it.
Hitting up the shop for a red potion.
Wow, that's really uncommon to see. I can't remember last time I've seen someone use that shop.
Honestly, the last time I've seen somebody go into that building in a Link to the Past randomizer seed, it was a crossover and they were going into Super Metroid.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since Cross Keys matches. But I wonder, wouldn't it be potentially faster to just loot to the witch and buy a blue potion instead?
I guess if you're already in the Dark World?
Yes, but you could have done that before you checked Hype Cave.
I guess.
It's one of those things that have probably not been timed, and to be fair, there's a lot of small things that people haven't timed what is and what isn't faster. Now, I do appreciate myself some out-of-the-ordinary thinking, though, so big props. Oh, that's unfortunate, though.
Yeah.
If you do have a Kiki the monkey with you and you take damage, unfortunately Kiki gets spooked by Link taking damage and you have to go back and pick him up again. Oh, there's our sword.
Hey!
Hey!
It's not a big deal that this is bow-locked or hammer-locked pod, because, we found those just fine. It was the sword that we were worried about.
So now Skullwoods is open as well, so you can do that if you want to. So, Eastern Pod, Desert, Skullwoods. You can technically do Ice Palace as well, because you can sequence break the hookshot and the cane. That's 5 crystals. Unless I'm missing something here.
No, I believe you're right.
Which means we're technically cane and hookshot from Go mode. You need a cane and a hookshot for Mire, and you need a hookshot for Swamp.
Yeah, I believe
And a sword,
logically you're supposed to need the lamp for the basement in pod, but I imagine our runners will handle it. Oh, and yes, a second sword. You kind of do need Master Sword minimum for Ganon.
You tend to assume that the sword will show up along the way. There tends to be one in GT. You will check some out of the ordinary locations, but sword mode tends to work itself out in the end. Now, with that said, this could still be a slow seed because there's that turtle rock that's just kind of sitting there and waiting.
Yeah, and that has a fair number of item locations, and it always seems to be that they're all on the laser bridge.
Yeah, that's a thing.
And that's classically like one of the dungeons in this game that there's no real go mode for. You can't make it much faster.
Sometimes the keys line up and you don't have to visit the bridge, but that's not a factor in this one. So presumably we're just gonna see Skullwoods done after this, check the first 4 locations in Thieves Town, and then bail, which is common to see with Pen and Thieves Town. Maybe someone wants to climb the mountain and get the plethora of items that are over there. But
Yeah.
it's 2 pendant dungeons up there. Do you really want to go there?
I feel like that's a move you make when you have to start weighing your options. And right now, I don't feel like our runners are really weighing options. They're looking at what's right in front of them, and it's like Pod is a natural play. Doing the whole sweep up to Skull Woods is a natural play. I think if they do come down to like they're really hunting for that one go mode item, then they're gonna start, running the math and deciding if they head to the mountain.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair. You do get that mushroom in the big chest, and for me that brings back bad memories, but in this situation it's fine. You have the flute to easily check it. So Pod gave a sword, we got the mushroom, time to go kill the boss.
Yeah, not much known progression outside of that sword for now, but this is a dungeon you have to do, and there's not much reason to, leave and come back for it. Just take up the dark room and go.
And to be fair, the sword is pretty good right now. You definitely take that.
And honestly, I don't expect to see anyone turning in that mushroom for a while. They may go early if, things go a little south and they decide, okay, I need a fresh potion for whatever's coming up ahead. And so while I'm there, turning the mushroom. But otherwise, you're flipping back to Light World and fluting. It's a little bit out of your way at this point.
It is a quick one-off. It's pretty deep in the sphere logic. There is a world where you would delay it because you may find cane and you can fake powder, but if you get the cane, you're 1 item from go mode? I do see that the Elmasaur is going to have the compass, so we have found all our items in Pod.
Yeah, at this point, you're just tackling this basement to clear out the crystal and get out of here.
And Yagamoth will mirror over and do Eastern, but for Matt, that's the question. Where are you going, good sir?
And then there's a fairly good thought of going up towards Catfish and then taking the north route, getting the Graveyard Ledge. You're abandoning King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks in the process, but you're hitting spots that tend to get orphaned in a lot of runs. And there's a certain niceness to just getting those out of the way when you know you can.
That is a possibility, but unfortunately Catfish needs to have hook shots to be able to cross over to the western side.
That is true, yes.
I will send you a clue later after the commentary, it's fine. The sword is very weak, so you do want to use a different weapon instead, like the bow. And this red potion comes in very handy for Matt.
And that's 2 Helmosaurs down.
3 crystals for Matt, 2 for Yagamoth. We could still see Catfish here. It is kind of out of the way, and
Yeah.
you could do Thieves' Town into Skull Woods and then route that way over.
I don't know, looks like Matt is just going to flute straight to turn in that mushroom.
Yeah, just get it out of the way. Maybe buy a new potion? Did just use one. Yeah. I will have enough money left for those Thieves' Town checks, like the in-game and chess game. So it doesn't actually need any more rupees.
Nope, and at this point you're hoping that the seed is a little less stingy with the health, and you're not going to be so concerned and needing red potions or whatnot.
Oh yes. Now, do you like 7 Hearts Green Mail Fighter Sword Mothula?
No! The correct answer is no.
The correct answer. Well, looks like that's what we're gonna see here. And Matt is going to the back first, and to me that tells me he's confident in this Mothula fight, because otherwise you would start first and hope that you can get an item on the way. Yagamoth's almost finished off Eastern, and really the big difference is Yagamoth making that escape call earlier, which ended up giving nothing. Now, where was Ether again?
Ether was on Uncle.
Oh, so I guess the escape did have something useful after all.
Yeah, the full proper escape didn't. But if Matt goes there hunting for anything more than Ether, if that's not his Go Mode item, then he'll probably do escape with the Uncle check.
Yeah. You see Matt playing this very carefully, doesn't want to take any damage at all. We're gonna see Yagamoth be disappointed here also with this compass here being sequence broken by the lamp.
Matt taking this back of Skullwoods, very textbook and just careful enough. Gonna drop in with pretty low magic though.
Did buy that potion. And this could be a really rough fight for Matt.
Yeah, gonna have to use that hammer. It will do tempered sword damage when the hit registers and connects. That is a small hitbox though, and scary to work with, but Matt makes it happen.
That actually looked much easier than I thought it would be. So that's 4 crystals under 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And we're
the thing is-
still, what, 2 items from Go Mode? So,
Yeah.
those could take forever.
Yep.
Just,
One is probably in Turtle Rock, because that's how it tends to be.
Still, 1 on Ether, 1 on Bombos. Boots in T-Rock.
Yagamoth also executing this fight well. We'll also get crystal number 3 here and probably head on over to Skullwoods. Well, Yagamoth, where are you fluting? Matt's gonna continue the Starkworld route here, and Yagamoth also going for that mushroom.
Yeah, not a silly play, honestly. When you go through pod and all you get is a sword and that mushroom, you're thinking, I don't want to hold off with that potential progression.
And the sword opens up Mothula, and that's it. And Mothula had a crystal, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Yagamoth just seems to be following in Matt's footsteps here.
Yeah,
This
pretty
is
much.
a different Skullwoods route. It's not often you see that door being opened.
Well, yeah, it is a fairly recent change that pinball room can have something other than a small key in the distribution logic that we're using for this tournament. So sometimes you're like, let's sweep down there and check it that way.
And we did get that cape somewhere. Can't quite remember where. I think it was like desert or something.
Yes, right side desert. And just some sticks on the bumper ledge.
I'm not interested in that. We are gonna see Graveyard Ledge here from Matt. And will we see him go all the way over to Catfish though? It's a long walk for one item.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thought that I was mentioning earlier, just, with accurate weapon and equipment considerations. These are easy to orphan locations, and there's nothing saying they can't have value. Like the Cane of Samaria. That's value.
We are hookshot from Go mode. You get hookshot, then Swamp and Mire is fully in logic.
Yep.
So yeah, we're one item from Go mode at 40 minutes. And it could be anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where do you start? Because the Cane doesn't do anything right now unless you really want to go into Turtle Rock, but Matt doesn't have any medallions, so that's not even an option for him.
Well, we were saying earlier, the mountain has so many item locations. Neither runner has set foot up there.
And someone's probably gonna say, well, they need a sword. Yeah, they will get a sword. Sword's fine. Now, Master Sword Silverless, when you're sitting on like 10 hearts green mail, that's not fine, but that's a different question. Especially without the lamp. You're gonna need some bottles for that, probably.
Yeah, so like if the hookshot is here in C-shaped house, for example, Matt's in go mode. I mean, not actually, but in theory, you would be in go mode. But you're not necessarily going to go mode, because there are a lot of things that you would like to have.
Yeah. That still needs to do Front of Escape. You could route in Front of Escape with the Pyramid Fairy, but you need the ether from Front of Escape to do Pyramid Fairy. So that's not a possibility in the seed. So, first 4 items tend to be commonplace. Okay, sword.
There.
Okay, now everyone can be quiet about the sword. So, we're probably gonna see Matt leave now after the first 4 items. Because that's progression, somewhat.
That's good enough that you're like, whatever, I got what I needed.
you get something that wasn't like 5 arrows or whatever, 10 arrows or something. And also, we see that the map and the compass are still left in the dungeon, and if this is an item, there's only one item in the back.
Yeah, that's too much time for not enough effort, or not enough value, rather.
I should also remind the newcomers who have come in to the match later, there is that vanilla book in the library, which could be something that we don't know.
Yeah, we only know that we didn't need it to clear out desert. So that leaves still 2 locations that book could be blocking, and therefore boots could be blocking.
Yeah. Well, as long as Yagamoth just heads on over to Graveyard Ledge after this Skull Woods that unfortunately we haven't been following very well at all. Apologies for that. Seems like he doesn't have any big issues with it. He will be in a pretty good spot because he already has that ether.
Whole lot of digs for not a whole lot of value.
You don't need any more rupees at this point. And Yagamoth will get the cane. Will he continue all the way over to Catfish, though?
Meanwhile, Matt is going to go and take care of the smith chain. You got your hammer, you got your mirror. You can't fake powder, but you can do this pretty conveniently and clearly.
Unfortunately, no boots here for the hammer peg, so... it's Spiral Cave 2.0.
All that for 300 rupees that Matt's not even going to take.
Which means that Matt is probably not interested in buying more potions. Yagamoth is going all the way over to Catfish.
With how this tournament has gone, this could be a big deal. Catfish has been critical several times.
That's true, but if there's nothing there, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's like, I know people like to talk about, oh, you can't skip any locations because the item could be there. Yeah, but some locations just take so much time, and if there's nothing there, then you lose all that time.
This is what I was saying about the mental game. It's knowing those probabilities. Like, you see, this is almost gambler's fallacy. You've seen so many Catfish required items that you're like, of course it'll be there, but no, all the rolls are independent.
Yeah, thankfully you can mirror and flute away. Yeah, that wasn't very worthwhile, unfortunately. Oh,
there's our hook shot. 46 minutes and we have no mode.
I think this is actually an official Jet Seed.
I think we can say that.
But Yagamoth is going valid words. Oh.
It's a bold move. It's a bold move.
To be fair, the hookshot is pretty close to Swamp, so I guess it's fine, somewhat. Like, Matt has to do Escape and Yagamoth has to do Stumpy. And the entire Death Mountain was a bait and no one went there. There was nothing there.
That's actually amazing.
I know, the lamp is there. The lamp is probably up there.
Like, just now, there's at least a dozen locations, I'm probably missing some in my head, that our runners could go do, just with the equipment they have. No hook shot needed. Yeah. And none of it mattered.
Where's... Matt, you're not going Swamp. Oh, yeah,
That's going Swamp. Matt's able to do Swamp.
Yes, of course you are going Swamp. What am I talking about? The screw. It needs to be fixed again, I think. But it will probably just full clear this, come back and do left side as long as there is an item there. Or maybe you don't. Like, There's so much up on Death Mountain. Like, I think Matt is definitely going there before escape. Like, why would you think that the ether is available by just spending 30 seconds at the start to go talk to your somewhat dead uncle who is not dead? And Yagamoth also does need that sword, which is at the front of Thieves Town.
Yeah, Yagamoth needs a sword. We don't know where the other two are. There could be one of them down here in Ice Palace, and you didn't need to dip, at that point, any pendant dungeon.
This is such a weird situation. I mean, now I really question that vanilla book.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably a sword on the tablet somewhere. Yagamoth not quite getting that spin through the wall. The thing is, I think it's impossible really to call who is ahead here. I think it's more likely that Yagamoth goes to Village of Outcasts in the Stumpy area than it is for Matt to go escape.
I think you're right. I think certainly whoever makes their move first, like if Matt makes the escape play before Yagamoth heads over to Stumpy, then yeah, Matt's got it. If Matt makes that play before Yagamoth clears another dungeon ahead, then Matt's got it.
This is it's a tough situation for both players. Oh,
Yep, there's another sword. So yes, our runners, certainly with their skill levels, don't need to dip any pendant dungeons at all.
Yes. Yagamoth probably still get that sword over in Thieves Town, and if Matt is gonna do ice after this, which is a possibility, we'll probably get that sword that's in ice. But both players are now one item from Go mode. There's a different item.
Yeah, and they're both easily accessible ones.
Yeah, that's the thing. But escape at 50 minutes just sounds awful.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be, an aspect of your strategy to leave it off for so long, and hopefully you kind of have that in your head. It's like, I did that on purpose. How long do I commit to that move?
Well, Kakariko was stacked with rods and flippers and gloves, and then you got the mitts and the bow at Waterfall Ferry, and then suddenly you get the hammer and checkerboard. Like, yeah, there's no way Escape's gonna have an item. But this is a genuine Jet Seed that has the items in a little bit of a weird position, but yeah. If you do Uncle Start, you're probably finishing this one pretty fast. And Yagamoth is also all the bombs here.
Yeah, not the end of the world. You don't need bombs for the remainder of this dungeon, but would be nice to not forget that when you get to a point that you do need bombs.
Yagamoth's gonna grab some health over here. I mean, 2 hearts for Cold Stairs is very nice. Matt, not quite getting that one cycle. It's a nice salvage though.
Takes down 2, gets the heart container, gets a Sank heart container, and the 5th crystal.
Did he get that blue mail that I believe was at K45 south of Grove? So 11 hearts, blue is pretty safe.
Yeah, I think at this point you're looking at the remaining bosses, Ice Palace, Misery Mire. You're feeling okay. Yagamoth might not be feeling okay.
Yeah, he just took a hit there from the ice. This is really scary. One's down, need 2 more.
Kept as much distance as possible.
Oh, man.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
That was really well played by Yagamoth, and that is not a King Lock dungeon. Matt's going back in. There's a compass and an item on the left side that he's gonna skip.
Yep.
Where are our players going now? Where are they going?
I'm a little surprised Matt abandoned one item when he's 1 item from go mode.
It's a big time investment, and they'll skip out on Catfish
Yeah.
earlier as well. Yagamoth's gonna go buy a potion as Matt is taking the dip into ice. Now this will give Matt the Temper Sword, almost certainly.
That'll certainly be a huge help, especially if our runners never find silvers. Yagamoth is headed to the mountain.
Oh dear, no!
This is the rare seed where going to the Death Mountain is a bad idea.
There's nothing here!
Oh.
There's probably a lamp. Oh, this is complete despair.
Oh man. And all Yagamoth has to do is talk to Stumpy.
He's so close. Man. Why?
I was saying, there's so many items up here. Like, this is statistically a good play. It just so happens it's a bad play.
It's like, you have your Pennantera, you have your Pendant Turtle Rock, and then everything else up here is just one giant, massive, extended Pennant Dungeon that has no progression whatsoever. Oh, there's a final sword! Oh, remember those concerns about the swords? Yeah, about that.
Now, I almost wonder how Matt is going to climb up to GT. Will they end up with all 4 swords?
Probably. Matt will take the hookshot over to the east side. Yagamoth is probably gonna get the last sword though in Thieves Town, but the 4th sword doesn't really do that much. But
it just depends on if Yagamoth goes and talks to Stumpy.
Yeah, maybe you go back to the swamp area and take that portal, and then you take that route to Village of Outcasts. I don't know.
Maybe you find a shovel.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know if that's good, because maybe you just check the shovel and then you bail.
I don't know.
No idea.
There's not a lot that like really pushes you to Stumpy.
And nothing is pushing Matt to escape. He's probably gonna go to the mountain as well after this.
Oh, we're gonna get to see what would open Turtle Rock.
Please be Bombos. Please be Bombos. Oh, come on.
It's Ether!
That's the best situation for Matt, but it's really bad for Yagamoth.
Oh!
No. Because Matt is never gonna go there because Ether is his go mode, but Yaga's probably gonna full clear Turtle Rock for nothing.
Well, he's not hopping in.
Super
So
funny
at least...
I actually think going Turtle Rock now is the right call. And I know a lot of players will agree with me with that. That they were just going to Turtle Rock here, no question. But we know it's wrong. But we'll see, maybe Yagamoth decides to not do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping Yagamoth is feeling too desperate to do it.
there's still a lot of other items here.
Yeah, Spiral Cave, all of Paradox. It's 8 locations.
Maybe getting boots will force the book or something and leave the area and go for a Smith Tour to end it with Bombos Tablet. We'll be able to get hookshot at the end. The screw is getting loose again. Matt is more healthy for this coaster fight. That is how you want the fight to go.
Oh, yeah. Tempered Sword definitely helping out.
So, I think Matt is gonna go to the mountain. What do you think, Upton?
I think Matt's gonna go up the mountain.
I think you're right.
Chad asking, it is not possible to bomb jump the entry gap at Misery Mire.
No, it's
So
too wide.
So it is boots or hook locked. Both of those are considered logically valid.
Oh, here we go.
It's mountain time.
Yay. We still haven't even found the lamp. I guess the lamp is in Turtle Rock then.
Oh man, yeah, it probably is at this
Classic.
point.
Hey, Turtle Rock required for the lamp. Woohoo. Suddenly everything is in logic again. And our players are very sad. Well, Yagamoth's sad because Matt is not going in there. Now, because of this situation and Yagamoth going into Turtle Rock, I think it's rather clear that Matt is in the lead here.
Yeah, at this point for sure.
Yeah. And Matt is probably not going to go back into Thieves Town for one item. We'll probably full clear Hera though. But after that, Matt is actually running out of locations to check.
Yeah, Matt is getting saved by either being the go mode item, but yeah, you're pretty close to just one-off locations on their side. And of course, we know it is a one-off location that has the ether, although it's not even really a one-off location.
Yeah, it's just good old uncle who's sitting there with a medallion that you need. And not even boots here in Turtle Rock can really help Yaga.
Nah.
Unless it's something like boots here, locked behind these torches, and then mirror and leave and go get the book and do some shebangs with that.
Which would be a pretty wild play. You know, if you're stepping into Turtle Rock, you're committing to Turtle Rock.
Yes. And you've had these items for a long time as well. Oh well.
Yep, Yagamoth just mirrored out to get right back in.
It's refilling the magic. You know, we did wish for a nice seed for our players at the start, and we got a nice seed.
Yeah, this was a wonderful seed.
Some other things happened. And there's the big bailout for Matt.
And yeah, Matt does have Hookshot Cave to check with that hookshot. Yagamoth had to leave this alone.
The salt on the open wounds here would be the boots.
Yeah. Or Bombos. That would just be kind of funny.
Ugh. Is this a seed where you just play standard and straightforward and it all works out. And you win.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you play standard and straightforward and your opponent does that as well, well, the one with the better execution is going to win, and you don't always want to be put in that spot. And that's why the players tend to do some out-of-the-way checks. Also, Pen and Thieves Town is probably a reason why Yagamoth never went too deep into the Village of Outcasts area, and I don't blame him for that.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I always compare randomizer races to poker, where, there's a good degree of knowing your execution, knowing how to play the game correctly, and there's a bit of luck, and there's a bit of kind of playing your opponent. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of gambling. And that's what our runners did, and they both went bust.
Yeah, it's one thing playing a seed as efficient as possible, but it's not about being efficient, really. It's about beating your opponent, and it's about beating your opponent's playstyle. Matt's just flying back here to go to Hera and then probably into Spy Cave after this, and we haven't even found the stinking lamp yet.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's probably in one of these two pendant dungeons at this point.
It's been a long time since I've seen such a dead mountain. It is Death Mountain for a reason, but...
Oh, certainly.
Man, it's dead. It's certainly dead today.
It's not even like Uncle. Uncle is half dead. Mountain is full dead.
Yeah, Uncle is somewhat not quite dead. Yagamoth did get half magic there, and I mean, it's nice, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Always look on the bright side of life, I guess. Matt will get that last sword, which saves, I don't know, maybe 2 seconds.
There's our other male upgrade on Laser Bridge. Matt is definitely going to Hera pot this.
If Yagamoth just leaves Turtle Rock after this and decides to not do Hera, it's not that far behind. But I think he's gonna do Hera.
Yeah. He's gonna do Trinex fight. So I'm pretty sure... No, there's just a map on Trinex.
Well, from his perspective, Hookshot could be on the pedestal. We know the pedestal is dead.
Yeah.
There can't be anything there. But from Yagamoth's perspective, yeah, the hookshot could be there. So could the boots.
Mm-hmm. And like I was saying earlier, there's no real way to go mode T-Rock, so you don't want to come all this way and then just leave Trinex sitting there. If you're gonna make the T-Rock play, you're committing.
Now Matt got the Hera pot, and we'll go ahead and kill our lovely Moldorm. We have 2 different snakes going down here.
And both going down pretty fast. Snakes that our runners could have left well enough alone.
Yep. But that is Randomizer. Never know how it's gonna go.
Yep.
Where is that stinking lamp?
At this point, it could very well be the back of Thieves Town. It could have been the big chest in Hera. Matt doing the Hera pot means that location was orphaned, and there is still an item in there. Where is Yagamoth going to head?
Oh.
This is looking like a Village of Outcasts move.
Well, this is looking pretty promising. The great turnaround.
Yeah. Now,
Because
even if Yagamoth goes and visits Stumpy, he still has 2 dungeons to do versus Matt's 1.
Yeah, but where's Matt going now? Link's house. Because if he just goes up here... Oh! That's the thing with the flute! The flute just sends you all over the place so easily. Why would you go to escape when you can use flute somewhere else? Flute in hand in the green pendant. Yagamoth will probably just check the first 4 and get the sword and then bail.
Actually, I wonder how desperate Yagamoth is feeling. Did we see a full Thieves Town clear?
Oh dear, no.
I hope not, no.
That's just all in on the pedestal, but in that case, you would have done Hera when you were up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, where are you going? You're going down?
Down? We're down, though.
It's so close yet so far. I mean, I don't blame anyone for skipping escape at all. I don't blame anyone for skipping any item location for any reason. I just want... I don't know what I want.
I hope this is Pyramid to Escape. I hope it is.
Yeah, it... Well, it hasn't checked Catfish. It could be Catfish. Yagamoth is gonna go down south now and be able to get that hookshot for Go Mode. Go Mode Swamp is fast. This could come down to GT routing.
Yeah, we've been in no mode for 20 minutes now.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
And neither runner has cleaned it up.
20 rupees is just the mirror. Oh, we are gonna see Matt enter Go Mode. In about 10 seconds. Roughly 10 seconds, I don't know exactly.
Yeah,
Yagamoth will be in Go Mode in like 30. But you picked this up in Matt's position. It's actually in the chest, but you picked this up in Matt's position. You bet you think you're behind here.
Oh yeah,
you just
absolutely.
Full clear the entire mountain for nothing.
And you have to assume that your opponent didn't. You have to assume that they came here earlier and that they didn't skip Stumpy or any other spot that you did hit.
Yeah.
Yes, at 110 and a quarter, Matt's in Go Mode.
Now you have to go do Mire, and then you have to do the mountain. Yagamoth, I don't blame Yagamoth for going here with the Smith. We know it's slower, but it's just the way you do it.
Yeah, you don't abandon anything at this point.
It's just more efficient. You have the mirror all the way down with the purple chest handing. You get to do the super slow hammer picks as well. Now here's the question though about this Mire. How fast will it be?
Well, fortunately, they're both going to Go Mode it the same way, so how fast it is for one is how fast it'll be for the other.
Now, there are some small routing deviations you can make, but not sufficient to gain this time difference. It's just a very unfortunate seed for both players, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Yagamoth's gonna get the hook shot and feel like, oh, I'm 20 minutes behind or whatever. And Matt just got the ether for Go Mode and, oh, I'm 25 minutes behind or whatever. Probably actually more for Yagamoth considering the Turtle Rock game nothing.
So this is the point where, both runners are going to feel behind. They've got to stay calm enough to not let that mess up their execution. Because again, Matt is ahead. Like, they both feel behind, but one of them isn't.
Yeah.
And you don't want your execution to throw that off.
Definitely. Yagamoth's now in Go Mode, and this chest is going to be left to the dust. Now, Go Mode Swamp is a fast, quick dungeon, but it's still a dungeon.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like Matt didn't do left side, so this isn't a huge time gain for Yagamoth to go mode it.
There's
The
stinking
lamp admire?
Are you kidding me? Wait, that means lamp is the true go mode item, the seed. It's actually go mode lamp. Because
Technically, yes.
Shot or ether, but you needed both of them to get into this. I love E31. How about you?
This is a video game. Is all I can say.
It sure is. Okay, we're official in go mode. Oh wait, we need silver arrows. Who cares? We got the damn lamp.
We got the lamp. We're good.
We're good. So is this the big key? Nope. So I think it's vanilla big key.
Yep, vanilla big key. So a slow mire on top of it all.
Yagamoth could get in some time by just going straight there. And Yagamoth will get the lamp, because you will always check that location before the cutscene. And the people in chat are already talking about the B key on Torch. Yeah, but how many places can Boots be? Come on, it's probably gonna be in GT. Where else can it be? Pedestal, yes, but come on here.
The chat just wants this to never
fun.
end. It will never end.
This was meant to be a Yet seed, and look where we are.
We've encountered some turbulence on our flight.
Yep. But the duck has landed.
It's still a jet, even if it has to go a little slower. Sure.
Yeah. So Matt's got the key, and Yagamoth got his key. It's pretty funny, they're both on 13 hearts blue mail, but I'm pretty certain they picked up different hearts, and they obviously picked up different mail upgrades. We're just sitting here waiting for something. We do have Spooky from Matt.
Yep. So that's another nice little time save. Assuming you can get it to cooperate.
We have magic, unfortunately for Matt. This has been pretty unfortunate for both of the runners, and obviously everyone should go and follow them on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yagamoth will have a faster boss fight here as well, and actually got some hits there with the quick kill setup. So Yagamoth is gaining time here, but you need to gain more time because you can see the difference here.
Yeah, Matt now a full dungeon ahead.
It's that Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is a full dungeon. I mean, sure, Matt did Hera, but it's a very quick one to do, and did it the quick way.
All 7 crystals, and with that, Matt can finally go check Pyramid Fairy, Gannis Tower.
And yes, people are already putting their numbers in chat. There are 22 item locations in the Gannis Tower basement where that big key could be. The torch is number 3. Get your guesses in chat.
I guess the torch is 3, but it could be 1.
And if you guess it now, it will actually count towards our big key guessing game. I'm going to guess 11. I'm going to be kind to our runners. Yes, torch could be 1. If you go full right side, it'll be 7. If you're a braid genius, it's 8. And do tile room.
We have seen tile room first in this tournament,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't write it past them, but I don't think this is the right seat for that. This is still gonna be sub 130. So it is a fast seat, it's just that it could have probably been, I don't know, 20 minutes faster. Of course, this is game 1 of this best of 3. The game 2 has not yet been scheduled, so that is to be determined.
All right, and we have Matt entering in now. At this point, Yagamoth's best hope is that that big key is on the torch. We're about to see if that ends up being the case.
Going over right side. Standard opening. Yagamoth's gonna be official go mode with the lamp, whatever. There's your powder.
Chest number 1, powder. Chest number 2, 20 rupees.
No key. So we have 4 left.
Drum roll.
Oh, please, no.
10 arrows on the torch. We're good.
Yeah, some fire arrows. I think at this point it's gonna take a lot from that side to not pick up the win here.
Yeah, it's gonna take Ganon Falls, really. Number 4, small key. Number 5, fire shield. Number 6, small key. Number 7, bombs.
Unfortunately, Yagamoth is taking the same route through Mire that Matt did, and will not be gaining any time here.
Number 8, 50 rupees.
Oh, they do have a boomerang. I forgot about that.
Yep, that was the one thing in Hype Cave that is getting any utility.
And was used twice. Must be a 10 out of 10 Hive Cave. Well, this is a seed that the players just... They see the seed, they see their go mode items, and neither of them are feeling good about it.
Absolutely not. Number 10, compass. Number 11, bombs. 12, arrows. 13, the red boomerang.
Well, we are going deeper. How deep are we going? Oh, Yagamoth, just get pushed through the Samaria block by that laser thing, and then just ended up in all kinds of wrong places. Now you will have to do a bomb jump here.
Yeah, it's bomb jump or, do it the intended way, and who wants to do that?
It's slow. Just use a bomb.
Another set of 10 arrows. So we're going off to to the Ice Armos.
Yagamoth is on 3 hearts. It seems like Yagamoth's been low on hearts for every single boss fight.
It has felt that way, yeah.
And always manages to clutch it out. This time with half magic cape, he is slashing with the gold sword. No problems at all. Matt, what was that pronunciation? Managed to get down Ice Armors as well and get the boots and, well,
Boots
I guess
at
chaps, they got their boots, but they still don't get the key!
Oh, man.
Well, now they can get the vanilla book, which does absolutely nothing. It's been an entire
Unless there's a bow on a tablet, then logic would dictate a double dip of GT, but nobody's doing that.
No. Well, Yagamoth is now gonna climb the mountain. Unfortunately, many minutes behind, and the key is over on the right side and it's key locked, so... Dark Magician strats could save a lot of time here, but still not enough time. There we go.
And there's our big key.
I'm not looking for silvers here, not getting them.
So yeah, that was 18.
It's a lot of chess.
And Sabatiner was the first one with the right guess.
Wow, Sabaton just keeps on winning everything nowadays. Unbelievable. That has just the right amount of arrows for the mimics. I think Yagamoth is going to be like 7 minutes or so behind upon entering. Can gain a lot of minutes by going Dark Magician. Not enough minutes though, it's gonna take something.
And if you go Dark Magician, you're not getting those boots. There's not a lot of game left for that to matter, but that is a difference.
And boots are very nice to have during the climb, because there are some rooms that can be pretty awkward without them. This room wasn't very nice for Matt, it was a bit slow. Also, there's a laser right there on the way out. Yeah, that enemy did not want to cooperate. The Yagamoth is going right. A very nice one cycle from Matt on Lanmolas too. It's getting these easy king setups. And this is the one room you really want boots in.
Yeah. If Yaga ends up doing Dark Magician, which it doesn't look like.
I was killing those Stalfos, so if you're gonna kill those, why are you gonna leave? Matt will need to pick up the magic here though. Now, if Matt gets silvers here, he's gonna have one arrow. It's not enough. That's the last ball.
Nope.
Moldorn, please.
Ah.
There we go.
That Moldorm knows that Matt went and killed its brother for no reason, for no value.
The brother Smoldorm. Well, we are going to see gold sword, silverless, which is pretty straightforward. You also have 14 hearts blue mail, you're safe. You picked up that fairy. He gets a bottle from before as well with blue goo.
Yeah, I don't imagine Matt is very concerned about the actual fights here. I think really the concern is that you're going to be in the middle of the second phase and you see that dot done.
Something we didn't mention earlier was that Yagamoth actually used a bomb there to get across that portal without having to take it. Since you don't have boots, just bonk yourself through. Can't remember what Matt did there. Yeah, that's not quite that bomb setup, Yaga, unfortunately. There we go. So I guess I was wrong in this being sub 130, but I guess that's just because the B key was so late.
Yeah. But yeah, if our runners didn't last location how they did, this could have been maybe 15 minutes faster.
Yeah, this was definitely a fast seed, but unfortunately you sometimes opt to delay some locations, and sometimes Death Mountain is completely empty. 100% empty. And then you're very sad.
And sometimes Ganon just refuses to take physical form, and you're very sad.
Yep. And for Yaga, unfortunately, Turtle Rock being Ether, too much time went into that. Because if you remove that trip, this is a very close race that we would have had.
Oh, absolutely.
Light World, so that could be on a tablet. Tablet or pedestal, I think. I think those are the only locations left.
Or boots locked.
Yeah.
Either way, there's a
Or
fair chance,
that.
like, it expected a double dip, and that's hilarious.
Well, Matt's having no problem at all getting these spins. With perfect setup, you can get the 3 spins with every rotation for 4 cycles. Got a triple there. Unfortunately, did not get that one.
And that will do it.
Congratulations to matt7898. As long as he decides to not fall down in a pit here, we'll take game number 1 in this best of 3.
And that does it. Matt comes in first with an official time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 12 seconds. And we have Yagamoth starting up on that gauntlet. Nearly had some trouble with the arrow count, but has made it through.
And we are now joined by our winner of this best of 3, Matt. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
So, general impressions on the seed?
I thought I was going to lose. When I found Ether, I was thinking of jokes in my head for this interview about how I was going to change the game mode to standard. And I was very, very surprised when I won. That's how I feel.
So, as you've probably been told already, the hook shot for Yagamoth was eluded him for quite some time, and because Turtle Rock was Ether, that was a big time commitment in that very much dead Death Mountain.
Yeah, I figured it was actually going to be Samaria maybe that tripped him up, but the seed was so wide open from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You could do some interesting things. And the way I routed the seed, this is how I play like daily races. I always put off Escape and Uncle. And it's funny, in this tournament, I said to myself, don't do that anymore. You have to go to Escape in tournament races. And I didn't listen to myself, and this is what happens.
What happens is you won.
True, yeah. But I probably should not have won.
Well, I will mention, like, a good 30 minutes of the start of the seed, you two were pretty much running the same route, even with how open it was.
Yeah, that kind of surprises me because when I had that item set up, I just said to myself, I'm going to go... We didn't have very many hearts, or we had no lamp, we had no sword for a lot of it. I just said to myself, I'm going to go low percent all of these crystal dungeons because maybe he won't do that, and I am confident in my ability to get through them all. And that was kind of my strategy there, which is also partly why I didn't go to Escape. But it's interesting to hear that he was doing the same things.
Yeah, by the time that you both went to Pod around the same time, the only difference was that you had done Eastern and Yagamoth had done Escape.
Yeah, I did Eastern because I wanted a sword, because I wanted to do the start at Skull Woods and then route down. And also we didn't have hammer, so I probably should have gone to the Mire area before Eastern. Looking back on it, that was a mistake on my part, because then I could have done both together. But oh well.
I mean, we didn't know the hammer would be in Checkerboard Cave, so not a terrible move. And you got the ether information early enough to know that that was going to be your decider.
Yeah.
Which, it definitely lucked out for you, having that be your go mode item. So again, it kept you off of T-Rock. And it looks like our other bow was pedestal.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I was really happy when I saw the Turtle Rock medallion. I was like, if that thing is Quake, because I did Ice Palace, which is where Quake was before going up there. And I was like, he probably didn't do that, which he might have actually. We had a conversation after the race. I was like, if that's Quake and there's nothing in Turtle Rock, then I'm toast. Because if I go up there, I have to go into Turtle Rock, basically. And the reason I avoided the mountain for so long is because there was nothing up there, but two empty pendant dungeons, right? So I guess we could have skipped the mountain altogether, which is pretty rare, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a very dense area, so it's amazing to think that the correct play was to not go there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I almost went there before Ice. Like, after I found Kane, I almost went up the mountain. I was thinking about doing that. I actually think that might be the right play in that situation, but I'm not entirely sure. But I don't know how Yagamoth plays at all. I've never actually watched a race of him, so I was just, in my head, I was just like, I'm just going to do what I do and see what happens.
Well, it worked out for your first match. So we have Yagamoth just now getting into that Ganon fight. Dealing with the substantial amount of teleports that Ganon decided to do.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Ganon was having one of those days.
So while Yagamoth is not here, and you can say these without being overheard, any concerns on like the round 2? Any settings that you'd be a little wary of? I'm hoping it doesn't pull on you.
I don't know if I want to tell him that. That's an interesting question. No, I'm comfortable with everything. So yeah, whatever he picks is fine with me. There's some interesting choices that he can make. Like 6/6 is always interesting. Map Comp the Shuffle puts a pretty big wrench into this situation. So yeah, no real worries.
When Yagamoth is just about to wrap up this fight. Should just be a hit or two more.
Yep, there it goes.
And with that, Yagamoth will take second place here with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, 15 seconds. And we are now joined by Yagamoth. Congratulations.
Good evening. And thank you, GG, Matt.
GG, dude.
I kind of need to watch that race again because I have to admit I don't really know how you rode, but looks like this wasn't even.
Yeah, it looks like in this one we both made one large mistake.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how far behind did either of you feel when you finally hit go mode? Like how bad did it feel?
For me, it was like I realized this seat is so wide open and you could be basically missing anything. Like, my main thought was King of Samaria might just kind of be somewhere Matt might not expect. So I didn't feel terribly far behind overall because it's like it can be anything really. In this case, well, I just didn't find the thing in time. So I had no idea basically.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty far behind. Like Yagamoth said, I don't really know how he plays. He must be very good if he's here, so I was pretty worried.
The early game also felt quite risky. You were often sitting on 5-6 hearts, green mail, the sword was in pod. And you, Yaga, you fought a lot of bosses in this seed with like 2-3 hearts.
I mean, I had a fairy in backup for the most part, so I wasn't too concerned. But for the most part, I decided to just go and buy potions before dipping certain dungeons, so I feel like that was actually kind of fine overall. But yeah, the normal way I tend to route is just go for crystal dungeons first and ask questions later where the rest is. And it mostly worked out, except that the hookshot could be basically anywhere.
Yeah, it was a little stressful watching and knowing where the hookshot was since Matt grabbed it relatively early. But all the moves that you were making at that point, like, they made total sense. They just didn't happen to pan out.
Yeah, for some reason I like to just avoid the village of outcasts forever, especially if it's the Sun Pendant. Because the way I tend to route is just try to be really efficient with everything, not leaving anything behind. So I just kind of tend to put off locations where there is pendants that I can possibly clear. Except this time I had like pendants in the mountains that I can clear, and pendants in the village of outcasts I can clear. So I wasn't sure where to go first and chose the wrong one. That's okay.
Yep, so you will get the honor of configuring our round 2. I don't know if you want to say anything to Matt about that or want to hold it close to your chest until then.
No, it's fine. I think I'm just going to say 6-6, as in 6 crystals, because then there's always the chance that even if Turtle Rock is required, I don't have to hunt for the Ice Rod, which is usually my nemesis.
And 6-6 matches have been pretty interesting this tournament so far, so I'm sure it'll be another exciting race for you two.
Well, hopefully so.
Yeah, should be good.
Do you have any planned time for that, or that is to be determined?
I think we're in pretty different time zones, so probably next weekend would make sense.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards next weekend for now.
Yeah, and I know GDQ is messing with a lot of schedules as well, but we will find time to get that in, and hopefully we'll have a channel to restream it as well.
Indeed. Thank you for commentating and restreaming and tracking. Always appreciate it.
Yes, I'll echo that. Thank you guys all very much.
Yeah, thank you too for participating, for running, for a wonderful show. Any last thoughts before we head on out?
No, just GG's, Yaga. Good luck in the rest of the matches.
GG's to you as well, and well, good luck for you as well.
Now we do have some more matches later today. There's a bit of a break right now, but starting on 5:20 p.m. and forward, we will have one match every hour for the first 3 hours, and now we're breaking in two more at 9:20 p.m. So 5:20 p.m. we'll have Whoosh versus Lin 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 on Speed Gaming 1. Lin 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 is leading 1-0 there. 6:20 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2 we'll have Hipster Jam versus Trinex. And at 7:20 p.m. we'll have Philion versus Walter. And it's also a game 2 over on Speed Gaming. And at 9:20 p.m. we'll have Mentos Man versus BBB Kermit on Speed Gaming, and McLagan versus Frostbite on Speed Gaming 2.
Yep, but for now, that will do it for us. I've been Hupfin, joined by Marjavik. Any last words to close us out?
I'd like to remind everyone that Slowpoke did a tracking today. Also, you should follow all the Speed Gaming channels, especially, Speed Gaming 1 and 2, because we have matches, but also 3 through 6 is pretty valuable. There's a lot of content. All said and done, see you all next time.